Hello guys, how are you? I'm Hassan Fathy and I'm here today in a new video to tell you a new story, and I hope we'll get something out of it. Our story today is about Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal, but in fact it's not about an Imam in particular, it's about something we'll know at the end of the story. Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal decided to travel to Sham, so he traveled, but he didn't find any place to stay in, so he stayed at a mosque. And it happened that the man who looks after the mosque came to him and he said, "You have to go now." Of course, the man didn't know that this was Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal. And you know that Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal was so famous, well known all over the world at this time because of his knowledge. But all the people knew him by name, not by face, because at this time there was no Facebook or social media, as you know. So Imam Ahmad Hanbal said to him, "I have no place to stay in. Please let me here." And Imam didn't play the card of saying, "I'm Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal." No, he didn't do this. The man said, "No, you have to go now. We are closing our mosque." Imam said, "Okay." So Imam went out of the mosque and he slept on the stairs of the mosque. The man came to him again and he said, "I told you, you have to go now." Imam said, "I have no place. Please let me here." The man said no, and he shouted at Imam, and he was so angry, and he dragged Imam by his leg and he threw him in the middle of the street. A baker in his bakery saw what happened, so he came to Imam and he said, "It's okay, you can stay at my bakery. Come with me." And he took Imam to his bakery. Imam watched the man while the man was baking bread. The man kept saying, "Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar, Subhanallah, Alhamdulillah, Allahu Akbar," all the day. Imam waited for the man to stop. The man didn't stop. So Imam was so surprised, so he went to the man and he asked him, "How long have you been doing this?" The baker said, "Doing what?" Imam said, "Doing dua or doing dhikr, practicing dhikr like this." The man said, "My entire life. I spent all my life making dhikr." So Imam was so surprised and he asked another question. He said, "Have you ever asked Allah for something and Allah didn't give it to you?" The man said, "No, I've always asked Allah for anything and Allah gives it to me, except for one thing." And Imam said, "What?" He said, "I've always wanted to meet Imam Ahmad ibn Hanbal." And at this moment Imam cried and he said, "Allah brought you Imam dragged by his leg." And this is the end of our story. What we can learn from this story, you can learn that if you practice dhikr, all your calls will be answered. If you want something from Allah, you have to make dhikr. I hope you got it, and bye-bye.